Welcome to the Blackstone River Valley National Heritage Corridor. This whole valley stretches from Worcester, Massachusetts to Providence, Rhode Island, and it's protected by the National Park Service because it's one of the most important landscapes in American history. The Blackstone River powered the country's very first factories more than 200 years ago. But before that, it was home to the Nipmuc and Narragansett people, who relied on this same water for food, travel, and community. Today, the river is still working, not for machines, but for nature. It supports fish, birds, and wetlands that help keep the whole valley healthy. Take a look around. This is West Hill Dam in Uxbridge, Massachusetts. The dam was built to help control flooding along the Blackstone River, especially after big storms, but it's also become an important home for wildlife. When water slows down here, it creates wetlands, and those wetlands clean the water, give animals a place to live, and help protect towns downstream. If you follow the trail along the top of the dam, you'll notice how high up you are. This area was designed to hold back floodwater, but now it's also a great place to see how nature and engineering work together. The tall trees around you, pine, oak, and birch, help stop erosion, keeping the soil from washing away. Their roots help hold the land steady when the water levels rise. Once you leave the dam, you'll step into a completely different world, a quiet forest filled with life. All around you, plants and animals have adapted to the changing flow of water from the dam. When the soil stays damp, ferns and mosses grow easily. When it dries out, oak and maple trees take over. Forests like this act as the lungs of the valley. They filter the air, soak up extra water, and give homes to deer, birds, and even tiny insects that keep the ecosystem balanced. From here, you can really see how the Blackstone River has shaped the land over time. The river cuts deep through the valley, carrying water from the forests upstream all the way to Narragansett Bay. Along the way, it picks up nutrients that feed wetlands and meadows, like the one below. Here, the landscape changes again. The ground stays soft and damp, and that's perfect for ferns, mosses, and frogs. Wetlands like these act like natural filters. They clean the water before it returns to the main river. They also give shelter to turtles, insects, and small fish that rely on calm, shallow water. This balance between forest, water, and open field is what makes the Blackstone Valley so special. It's a living example of how nature restores itself when given space to breathe. Now we've arrived at the Riverbend Farm Visitor Center, one of the best places to start exploring the Blackstone River Valley. Right in front of the building is a pollinator garden filled with colorful plants that help bees, butterflies, and other insects survive. These small gardens are really important. They give pollinators a safe place to feed and rest, and they help connect larger habitats all along the valley. By planting native flowers like milkweed, coneflower, and goldenrod, visitors and park staff are helping the ecosystem right here in their own backyard. Just a short walk from the visitor center, the path leads to the canal and riverbank. This is where people once built canals to move goods between towns, long before trains or trucks existed. Today, you can still see how the old canal walls and the natural river flow side by side. Look at how plants and animals have reclaimed this space. Frogs hiding in the shallow water, ducks paddling near the reeds, and dragonflies zipping overhead. The canal may have been built by people, but nature never stopped adapting. Now this mix of wetland and history makes Riverbend Farm an amazing place to study how ecosystems heal and change over time. Now we've reached the Blackstone Gorge, one of the wildest parts of the river. Look around. The calm canal we saw earlier has turned into powerful rapids. These rushing waters once powered dozens of mills all along the valley. You can still see old stone walls and even pieces of the dam that once controlled the river's flow. The water here is strong and alive. Fish swim upstream, birds perch on fallen logs, and moss and ferns grow where the spray keeps everything damp. Long before factories were built at the end of the river, the Nipmuc and Narragansett people lived with the rhythm of this river. They fished here, gathered plants along the banks, and used canoes to travel between the villages. To them, the Blackstone wasn't just water, it was a living pathway connecting land, people, and seasons. Every bend in the river had a purpose. The shallow rapids helped fish move upstream. The deep pools were safe places for spawning. Trees along the banks stopped erosion and gave shade that kept the water cool for life below the surface. When European settlers arrived, they saw the same energy and built mills and dams to power machines. But those changes slowed the river's flow and made it harder for wildlife to survive. Over time, the Blackstone River became one of the most polluted rivers in the country. Today, thanks to cleanup efforts and national protection, the river is recovering, and many people, including Indigenous leaders, are helping to restore that balance. Our last stop brings us to Kelly House in Lincoln, Rhode Island, part of the Blackstone River Valley National Historical Park. This area shows how people once used the river to power machines and move goods. The canal beside the house was built so boats could carry supplies between mills, towns, and farms all along the valley. But if you look around now, you'll notice something else. The riverbanks are full of trees, wildflowers, and even signs of wildlife returning. That's because people are working to clean and protect the Blackstone River. You might see a blue heron flying low or fish swimming in the shallows, proof that the water here is much healthier than it used to be. As we head home, it's important to reflect. The Blackstone River Valley National Heritage Corridor protects more than just history. It protects life. From the forests around West Hill Dam to the pollinator gardens at River Bend, from the roaring gorge to the peaceful canal, every part of this valley shows how nature and people can share the same story. When we take care of the land and water take care of us. And that's the lesson the Blackstone River has been teaching for centuries.